Hey guys, those following my channel know that for over a year I've been in discussions with Kineo's worldwide distributor, HPS, link in the description below, to have tubeless wheels designed for the Suzuki DR650. Okay, right off the bat, I can already see some commenting along the lines of, what an idiot putting thousands of dollars on a DR. And my answer to that is, well, you might be right, but to me, a bike is always worth what it's worth to me. I'm in for over $10,000 Canadian on the DR, which might sound like a lot, but I'm still not even at half the price of an Africa Twin. I have true tubeless wheels, and it weighs about 140 pounds less than my previous Africa Twin. You can also ask yourself, how much would a well-equipped Husqvarna 701 Enduro cost you? And you still wouldn't have tubeless wheels or the reliability of the DR. Yes, you'd have a more modern bike with more power, but do you really need it? So with that out of the way, let me share as much info as I can on these wheels, as before buying them, I couldn't find many detailed reviews on YouTube. Full disclosure, I paid full price for these wheels, only had a small discount to compensate for me sending my OEM wheels to Italy so they could take measurements and design the wheels for the DR, and I'll be receiving a little compensation for the first few sets of wheels they sell, but it will by no means cover what I paid for the wheels. Let me start by talking a bit about how these wheels are made. Kineo has a modular system design, so they will have a few different hub models, and from there they will design the spacers, rotor and sprocket carrier, sprocket, and everything needed so that you can just pull them on your bike and be on your way. They make wheels for OEM companies, but also for custom projects. You keep the rotors from your OEM wheels, everything else is included with the wheels, including beefier bearings, and you can even order a different size sprocket if you want. As you'll see on the site, you can choose from many colors to make them truly fit your project. The rims are made from Germany-sourced 7000 grade aluminum. They are forged and machined. The hubs are also forged and machined. You really have to see them in person to fully appreciate the attention to detail. Many design features make these wheels extremely robust, but one of them is the spokes. Not only are they attached from the inside of the rim, eliminating basically any risk of air leaks, but as opposed to the OEM spokes, these are thicker at both extremities. Even the threaded portion that screws into the spoke is thicker than the spoke itself. And the threads are actually rolled into the spokes as opposed to being cut to increase strength and durability. Cutting threads removes material, while rolling threads keeps all of the material, which adds strength. I've already replaced 4 spokes on my rear OEM wheel because of the weaker design. The OEM spokes are thinner, and there's also a bend, which adds yet another weakness, and not surprisingly, it's where most of my spokes failed. The Kineo spokes use a high carbon steel that is extremely resistant to tension and compression, and they have a special anti-corrosion coating to protect them. Some other wheel makers' spokes are made with stainless steel, which naturally is anti-corrosion, but the downside is they are much more brittle and fatigue much faster. Another big advantage of the Kineo spoke design is they are maintenance-free, no retentioning ever required. They are threaded in place with a Loctite type of solution that also protects it from oxidation between the different materials. The wheels end up being slightly heavier than OEM wheels, but when you subtract the weight of the tubes required in the OEM wheels, the Kineo are actually slightly lighter overall. In terms of handling, it's hard to say because I changed the tires at the same time, but handling does feel a bit lighter, and it also seems to power wheelie in second gear easier than before. The biggest improvements are that if you get a flat tire in the trail, you can just plug it and be on your way in 5 to 10 minutes, as opposed to taking off the wheel and removing the tube, repairing it, putting it back in, and reinstalling the wheel. And you'll also end up with a much stronger wheel. Out of the over 1,000 sets of wheels HPS have supplied, they've had less than half a dozen requests for spare spokes, and have only heard of one wheel rim being damaged in an accident after hitting a side rail at high speed. The wheels are powder coated and then coated with an additional layer that was developed by Brembo to protect their calipers against hydraulic fluids, heat, etc. The result is that for glossy colors, the finish will not be quite as smooth as a typical paint job, but once on the bike you won't notice it, and most importantly, it will be extremely durable. The matte colors will provide a smoother finish. The hubs are anodized. Now let's talk about the pros and cons. For the pros, they are the best looking wheels you can put on the DR while being the strongest wheels you can put on the DR. They are both TUV and DOT certified for road use. the design that is much stronger than most OEM tubeless spoked wheels, where spokes attach to the very outside edges of the rim, like BMW, Triumph, Honda for example, as if one spoke breaks or the rim's edge becomes dented, which unavoidably loosens nearby spokes, it can lead to a domino effect because of the uneven lateral tension. With the Kineo wheels, even if somehow you managed to break a spoke, you probably wouldn't notice anything until visual inspection. It's much easier to repair a flat tire, both on and off-road. If you're going around the world and are afraid of a catastrophic tire failure, you could still use a tube inside the tire to get to the next repair shop. They are true tubeless wheels with the safety beads required. Outex kits and other sealing solutions do not address this part without safety beads. If you have a flat, unless you are also using a rim lock, the tire could unmount from the rim while riding. They have maintenance-free spokes. They come with a 2-year warranty from HPS to cover any manufacturing defects. Now for the cons. Well, it's a premium product, so it comes at a premium price. They can take about 4 months to make. Best to order during winter if you have winter. That way the waiting period is done while you're not riding. They have double their production capacity, but it's still a time-consuming process and they're struggling to keep up with demand. If you're frequently running 8 to 12 psi, you're probably better to just keep your OEM rims and replace them with another cheap set of rims when they break. You need to replace the speedometer with a GPS or magnet speedometer, as the OEM speedometer gearbox does not fit with the front hub. I'll be posting a review of my GPS speedometer in the next couple of weeks. So there you go, that's pretty much all that you need to know about the Kineo wheels. If you found this useful at all, please consider subscribing, liking, commenting, and as usual, thanks for watching and ride safe.